Hello YouTube. This video is in response to one of my favorite YouTube channels, Mike Helton Survival. He said the 3-bag challenge. So there are my 3 bags. That's the bug out roll. That happens to be a Pathfinder bag. That's my water bottle. And this is just a small backpack. I can't remember. I don't know who makes it. I got it a while ago. But 2 things about his challenge. One, he said that it was September, October, which actually made it a little easier for me because I live up in Canada. So that means I'm already wearing some decent clothes. Like I'd be wearing my hoodie, sweater, maybe even a coat with me, all that kind of stuff, which would really help me out with seasonality. Also, I'm assuming that we're dealing with, this is my current everyday carry, I have my lighter, knives, and a multi-tool with me. So let's get in the meat and potatoes of the bags here. So, little fire block and some snare wire in there. This bag is predominantly, take you for a trip, spin you around, predominantly for food procurement. So a whole bunch of cable snares that I made. If anybody's wondering, that's a bent penny, so the snare will actually lock up. If anybody's interested in how to make them, just shoot a comment and I can show you how to make them. They're pretty simple. That's made out of aircraft cable, so most of them are really heavy. I also got a bunch of the lighter snare wire as well, and there is some thinner ones there. And up into that bag, there's a mint. These bags were kind of already packed, Mike, so that's why I was able to get doing this pretty quick. That's just trail tape, because if you have to make a small little camp and then keep moving, you want to be able to find your traps quick and get going. And let's see if I can get this bag open. Oh, okay, there we go. Now, big rat trap with a lanyard on it. Oh geez, there's more stuff in here than I know. Because that's just, I might just take off with just that bag. I've got a life straw in there. I'm in the land of lakes and waters here, so it's not too bad for me to come up with more water. Here's my little fishing kit. It's going to take too long to get through to show you everything in there, but it's just a standard bunch of little stuff, and then repeat some more hooks and line and everything else. Then I've got it wrapped up in there, but there's, let me see if I can get them out. There's 2 110 body grips or conibears, whatever you want to call them. And then I've got one 160. Predominantly, if I'd be moving around in my area, I'd be dealing with possums, raccoons, stuff like that. This little pouch opens up, and that thing I'd pretty much never go anywhere without. It is an amazing book. Mike wouldn't help you, but up here it's pretty much indispensable. It's really great pictures, really great keys. If these guys ever brought out a book on mushrooms, I'd definitely be buying that one too. Now, I think that pretty much, oh, no, there's, on the little pouch in here is one of my skinning blades. Nothing special, but does the job. Now, there's the water bottle bag. So, this was actually a kit that I kind of bought and expanded on from Pathfinder, Dave Canterbury's company. So it comes with a cup with a lid. I ended up buying another cup because I could double nest the water bottle system. Oh, you can tell I have things stuck in here. Hang on for the ride, guys. Oh, there we go. There, we're pulling some stuff out now. So that's the one cup. That's a fish mouth spreader. This one I bought extra because it's a lot longer, and you can grab the cup and hang it. And this is the fish mouth spreader it came with, a little shorter, so it just gives me some options. Plus I can use both on the fire at the same time. And we got the water bottle. I popped out the O-ring and I actually filled it with a black silicone, so I never have to worry about losing an O-ring and leaking water all over myself. And then I've got my giant spoon. And, oh jeez. There is also, sorry for the shaky camera guys, I should have done this when my kids were awake. There's also another cup, and down in there, jammed in, I don't want to take too much time, is a little stove like that you can set the bottle on to just start a little fire with. We got a pouch on the front of this. I haven't tried this, but I've seen some pretty good reviews of it. It's wax rope. So fat rope? Yeah, fat rope. Looks like it's an awesome product, so I can try it out. A little bit of birch bark. And again, every prepper, every bushman needs a handkerchief. And we've got just a nesting fork and spoon and knife here. They're not really worth much, but hey, why not have them if you got the space? Cheap little ferro rod, some stormproof matches, and that's a tungsten edge to sharpen blades. Little toggle to help pull the water bottle off the fire, and some water tabs. I'm trying to go through this fairly quick. Our little fire starter. I try to do these little kits so it's kind of that, and you grab that bag. So if I just want to go for a walk, I could just grab this bag. So a bunch of little more fire starters, Bic lighter, and that's pretty much what's in that bag. Oh, let's slide all this over without losing too much. And now this is going to be the part that Mike said I cheated. Because I said, is a bug out bag okay? And he said no. And then he laughed. But I think he really likes Canadian preppers, so maybe he'll give me an out on this one. Just because he likes to see a lot of Canadian preppers products. So this is the bug out roll. I just threw a shoulder strap on it. And unfortunately I couldn't fit everything in here that I wanted. But, you know, I'm just trying. So, sorry, I almost dropped a glass bottle. I'll just flip this over, pop these other two straps, and we'll roll this sucker out. Try to do it without knocking everything off my freezer. There we go. So, he wasn't lying. You can jam a lot in these pockets. So it's just kind of a fire kit area. Got two fat ropes, some tinder, matches, some birch bark, two more Bics. Yes, I understand this is to last you a long time, and that won't, but if you're cold and need it to go now, that's what that kind of stuff's for. Duct tape, the hand warmers, same thing. You can't do nothing with your hands are freezing, so if I got super wet or something, crack that open, get it dry, and just get warm enough to go. A very meager medical kind of kit, mostly Band-Aids, iodine wipes, so on. We got a little crank flashlight there. Actually works really good. And just trying, that's something I carry with me anyways. It gives you something to just be able to crank it up just enough if you gotta walk back to your campsite or something. And again, this is all I'm assuming to be able to get up and keep moving with every couple days. Deck cards, because, well, I don't think many people would carry that with you, but you do need to fight sanity or insanity. And yeah, mini SAS survival guide for both, again, fighting insanity and for just some on-hand knowledge. We got some pens, which are just in there because I carry them camping with me, and some pencils there, but just a little, and this is both for all the time use and sometimes use, but yeah, a little first aid pamphlet out there. I can never remember my knots. I don't know what it is, but handy to have. And some wild edibles, and that's just a book to write in. I don't know. I got to survive for 2 months, you said, Mike? That might have to use that piece of paper for my last will and testament. And a little book on mushrooms. Now, I also have in here some Whizzy wipes for, you know, first aid and toiletry. Because if you're going into fall, dry leaves suck. Also, if you could have something this soft to wipe your butt with, why wouldn't you? Now this is where I'm going to differ from a few people. I got some food. That's just a soup mix. I got a couple packages of instant rice there. And I'll get down to it later, but there is some, I believe I have an MRE in there as well. Comes down to, yeah, I know that won't last, but it gives you a leg up. If you got to run with nothing, if you have something to start with, man, is that a whole lot better than, you know, trying to start from behind the 8 ball. Yes, I know you can hunt, and yes, I know we're allowed to carry a gun, which, by the way, I do have a gun for this. I'm not going to show it. That's just not my thing, but it is, it's a Pilot's Model 22. It all folds down into a small package. It's floatable. It's actually less than the length of the bug out bag when it's all collapsed down. But as I was saying with the food, all you guys that are master hunters out there, how good a shot are you when you haven't eaten for 3 days? You get a little shaky. So if you can have something, even if you break that rice down over 2 weeks, just to add with the other stuff, say you pop a squirrel, half a bag of rice, a couple squirrels, hey, now you're eating something. So that's just my view on that. Now in this bag I got a little tarp here. It's actually a pretty cheap one, but it's fairly thick. I've never actually tried it out. I'm going to try to get to that this summer. It's got some grommets in it. And then, because of where I live, some little cheap mosquito netting and some gloves. Now we'll get down into here. That's just a Mountain House. I think it's a breakfast. Yeah, it's a breakfast one. And again, just because. And then I've got a bunch of cordage in here, guys. Little one of them cheap Mylar blankets. An extra cam buckle strap. Explain that in a minute. And then I got some more cordage. And this is actually a sleeping bag liner. It'll up the weather value of most sleeping bags by about 10 degrees. And I'm talking Celsius. And then we've got down here, this is where you're getting into my bedroll kind of stuff. I got the SOL Escape Bivy. Get the Escape Bivy. It's a lot bigger, but you don't wake up wet. The regular bivvies, your body will just, all that moisture will bounce and come right back at you, and you'll wake up wet. This one lets the moisture out. So that's a nice little thing to use in conjunction with being beside a fire. Then, I don't sleep on the ground. I got a hammock in there. I don't sleep on the ground around here because a lot of our area is full of ditches and you don't have flat ground. Also, the ground just sucks the heat out of you. And I've discovered sleeping in a hammock near a fire way warmer than trying to be in a tent or on or anything else I've found that I've used, especially for the area I'm in. Then down here, this is the thing I had to figure out how to get into this kit. It's a military poncho. It's actually really heavy. And you can fold this out to make yourself a tarp. So in conjunction between this and this other tarp, decent for a fair amount of coverage. Then I got an MRE down here. That's apparently snagged in the zipper. So yeah, that's everything in that pocket. And then I've got these 2 cam buckles. The reason I carry them is to wrap the hang the hammock up real quick and easy. Also, if you got to use it to hang a large piece of game, I mean, the game we're going to have in our area, the larger game would be the coyotes and the deer. So having something you can yank it up, that'll almost act like a pulley, so you can pull, stop, pull, stop. I think that'd be really handy for many reasons. And there's the other one there. And then we just got real simple Fiskars folding saw. I could buy something more expensive, but that one works pretty good. And then I've got, last but not least, my knife there. Now my knife does have a needle and tape attached to it. Oh, I bet you I'm blinding you with holding this up that way. The one thing I'd really like to mention though is all the things I couldn't bring with me. And that's what really sucks. For instance, this is my tarp. That's my tent year round. And I mean, it gets snowy and cold up here. But this tarp is actually really heavy. It's like a car tarp. I think it's 10 by 10. But it's black on one side, silver on the other. So depending on what time of year it is, that's how I set it up. So black on the outside during the winter, get as much sun as possible. Silver on the outside during the summer, reflect as much sunlight as I can. Try to keep it cool. These are some of the other things I wished I could have brought. My machete will not fit. It's not a great machete, but it's the one I got. And an axe, because it's real hard for me to pack a bag for going into the wilderness here in Canada. Any self-respecting Canadian knows, bring an axe. Also, anybody who's seen it before, there's a lid that goes on that, but that's normally my bag that I take camping. It goes onto that frame pack there. So it's just the sheer amount of stuff I could carry. That's a floatable bucket, it's waterproof, and it's great to just sit on by the fire. Also, whiskey. That wasn't supposed to be out, but hey, if we're talking about things I'd love to bring, that would be one of them. I'd definitely run out of that pretty quick though if I had to run away for 2 months. Now I did make the assumption on this, Mike, that this is all yourself, nothing else matters. So that's how I said it, but myself, I know I couldn't last 2 months because I would have to take care of my wife and kids. And I could not keep five of us sustained. A 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old with just this. So that's where we'd run into trouble. But otherwise, I think it was a great challenge. I was actually really excited about doing it. Thanks for putting it up, Mike. Have a good night, YouTube. Bye.